How is it going today, guys? We are here in the beautiful Avenger Titan above Microtech, and today is going to be the first part of a multi-part series, a sort of new beginner's guide, if you will. Today we're going to be focusing on starter ships. Now, there's a lot of options for starter ships out there, some of them more specialized than others. Today we're going to be covering the kind of general starter ships, ships that can do a little bit of everything, a little combat, a little cargo, those sorts of ships. And also another caveat on that is only ships under $100. I think, of course there's people that are willing to spend $110, $120 on a new game or whatever, but I think most people are going to try to be in that kind of $60 to $70 range for this sort of game. So we're going to cover ships sort of in that area. Another thing, since this is kind of targeted towards new players, you guys may have not created an account yet, and the way referral codes work in this game is you have to put it in while creating your account. So I've linked mine below, but also, if you have another favorite content creator or a friend that already has this game, use their code. It's not going to hurt my feelings. But with that all said, we're going to hop right in here with the Mustang Alpha. Alright, here we are, guys, with the Mustang Alpha. As you can see right before this, I've created a nice little graphic for each ship we're going to be talking about today. That's going to go in depth into, shields, power plants, the exact, how many guns and all sorts of stuff that has. So if you're interested in the hard stats, that's where you're going to want to go. But Mustang Alpha, pretty good starter ship. As you can see, it only comes with a few guns equipped. It has some more hard points on the wings that you can equip guns to, so you're gonna have to earn a little money in game to fully equip it out, which is a little different than most of the starter ships here, but of course nothing wrong with that. Has this all glass cockpit, pretty good visibility. It's got these nice folding wings. The cargo bay back here is kind of built into the ship and you drop it down. Right now, this isn't going to work exactly like most cargo spaces. It does have this little open area. Most of the cargo bays have more of like an internal grid where you can kind of snap boxes on or snap them off, and most of them have them kind of internal to the ship. This is sort of a weird hybrid thing going on here, but quite nifty. Does give you a place to put your little mission boxes and stuff like that. Overall, a pretty solid ship, but I think you're going to see that in this price range, that's another thing I should mention, that price that we saw at the beginning, that $45, is the price of the ship with the game package. So $30 for the ship, $15 for the game package. That gets us to $45 here. The Aurora, which we're going to look at next, is also $45 with the game package, and I think you're going to see it's going to provide just a little bit more utility. Alright, guys, we are now here with the Aurora, another great ship. Again, this is in that $45 price range. It's going to come with not all the weapons equipped, kind of like the Mustang, so you'll have a few more places. I believe there's also maybe some missiles that don't come equipped by standard. But the reason I think this ship, though not my favorite looking, is going to give you a little more utility than the Mustang, is really because of the interior space. So if we come up here and we open this, unlike the Mustang where you just get straight into the cockpit, so from the outside you just get straight into the seat and there's nothing else, here we have this kind of little bed back here. So you can do bed logouts on your ship. So if you're floating in space somewhere, you hop in your bed and you log out. Also gives you a little floor space in here where you can throw your mission boxes. Something I just think is a little safer than, you know, putting them in that storage in the back. But it works. It all works. But I just think this is going to be a little bit nicer as a starter ship. Give you just that little extra bit of utility that I've been talking about. But with that, not too much more to look at here with the Aurora, so we're going to go and move on to the ANVIL C8X Pisces. Alright guys, here we are with the Pisces, specifically the C8X variant. That's what's available in the game package. The C8X, not too crazy compared to the regular. You just get a few little extra guns kind of on the little wing things here. Now, this is one of my absolute favorite ships. It's not necessarily the best option here, but it is a fantastic ship. It's going to come in at that $6 price point you saw there, so we're stepping it up a little. Again, it doesn't quite have the utility that you might want out of a starter ship. You don't get a bed or anything like that, but we'll walk around here. You get a little selection of guns, a few small missiles, but one of the areas where I think this ship excels, and you'll see that when we step in here, you're going to get a little more interior space to, you know, place stuff around if you're out collecting mission boxes or something like that. But you get these little jump seats here, so if you're running around with a buddy or something like that, they can, you know, hop in one of these jump seats. You don't gotta worry about getting thrown around here in the back trying to lay on the floor or something like that. So I quite enjoy the Pisces. Great little ship. Also, this ship is maybe these don't work. I was gonna say it's up to a little bit newer standards. You can see that with the button panels. Some of those older ships like the Mustang don't have the newer button panels yet. This ship doesn't quite have the interactable components, it doesn't seem, but still a fantastic little ship. I think it looks pretty sleek as well. Good selection of skins and stuff for it if you're into that sort of thing. And I think a great pick. But with that, we are now going to move on to the cutter. Alright guys, we are here with the cutter in front of me, and this is where things really start to kind of turn. You're going to see a whole lot more utility in this vehicle, a lot more interior space, and overall the cutter is a fantastic starter ship with what you're getting. It's coming in at that $60 price point, so remember, you're paying the same that you would for a C8X Pisces, but you will see a little bit bigger footprint, and with that bigger size is going to come a lot more usable space on the inside here. Nice cargo bay back here. Here you can see the components I was talking about. Here you got, you know, button panel open, closing the doors, being able to actuate the lights, though they don't seem to be changing too much. But here, you know, you can open that up, and here this looks like a cooler, so you could there's little tractor beams you can use, pull that out, you know, sell the components or swap them out, stuff like that. Quite nifty. Here, moving into the kind of mid section of the ship, we got a bed. So there's kind of the second ship on this list that's got a bed along with the Aurora. Here we have you know, a little storage locker, so open this up and you can store items in there. If we come back this way, tucked away in this little corner, we have a bathroom. Not really necessary yet in game, but at some point there might be a reason for it. You pop out your little toilet there, and you got a nice little sink. And yeah, so you get a beautiful little living quarters, quite nice. And then moving up through here, the door would open. You get a nice little cockpit section, hop in the seat, and it kind of elevates you up. And overall, really a nice ship. Let's take one more look from the outside. But yeah, as you can see, you know, we'll kind of go over all the ships at the end, but for $60, I would say that this is absolutely your ship at that price point. Next up, we're going to have the 100i. Alright guys, here we are hands-on with the Origin 100i. As you can see, quite a beautiful, sleek ship, and this one's going to run you $65 with that game package. I'd say the reason it's a little more expensive, even though it has a lot of the same features as those other ships, is because that kind of luxury tax. They like to make luxury ships just a little more expensive. But if we kind of walk around here, I can't remember. Yeah, we do have some of those interactable panels from the outside, so being able to access your components, which is a very nice feature. Here, if we open up the entrance, it's going to have a nice little staircase for us that pops out. And I quite like this on ships when you can just kind of walk in and out of the doors. Very convenient rather than trying to hop into the pilot seat. Here, you got your nice little bed. You can, bed log using that. Here is going to be your cargo area. It's kind of tucked away back here, so small little cargo area. You can fit some other larger boxes, so if you're trading or something like that, or your little mission boxes, you can throw those back there on the cargo grid and close that. If we open this is going to be more component access up here, so nice and easy. If you have your tractor beam, you can pop those out and switch them out pretty easily. It's got a nice cockpit. You kind of hop in the seat and it kind of pops you up into that glass dome, giving you good view. If we step out here one more time, you get a nice little selection of weapons. Overall, pretty nice ship. It is, for the price point, I wouldn't say the best starter ship option, but if you're into that kind of sleek, modern aesthetic, maybe this is the ship for you. With that, we're going to move on to the Avenger Titan. Alright guys, here we are with the Avenger Titan, one of my absolute favorite starter ships. This one's going to come in at $75, so if you're just looking for, price to performance, this might not be exactly the ship for you, but it does come with a nice selection of weapons that you can switch out, and a feature that I think is quite important on ships, and that is kind of two entry points. So this one has an entry point at the back, or you can enter right here straight into the cockpit, which is very convenient if you're just trying to get out quickly. And yeah, we're gonna swing on here to the back side, go ahead and open it up and take a peek at what we got in there. As you can see, a few little missiles on the wings. Here, very nice cargo area. Nice and spacious. I believe this is going to hold the most cargo out of any ship that we've looked at so far. You'd move back to the stats menu if you wanted to really look into that. Here, we move up. We got a little bed, Unfortunately, there's an older ship, so none of these little panels or anything like that are accessible. So, not necessarily a gold standard ship. That's what they kind of refer to the ships that have those newer amenities. Got your cockpit up here. Overall, a very nice ship. It'll surely get the job done for you, and I think it looks pretty nice on the outside. Nice selection of weapons. Overall, fantastic starter ship. Now, with all that being said, we're going to move on to our last starter ship we're going to cover here, which is the Consolidated Outlands Nomad. Well, here we are, guys, with the Nomad, and this is really going to be sort of the peak of starter ships that we're going to cover today. I believe this one's going to run $95. I'd have to double check that, but this comes with a nice selection of weapons, missiles, kind of built into the wings here. Has this cool kind of hover technology, so it doesn't actually touch the ground, and the cargo bay, which is right back here. We're gonna check this out really quick. If we click here, it'll kind of drop to the ground, and this is going to hold a lot more cargo than most of the other starter ships we covered. I believe this holds 24. You get a little ramp here. You could put small vehicles back here. I believe, I could be wrong, this is going to be the only starter ship that kind of fits a rocket. It's a little janky, but I'm pretty sure you can get it to fit back there on the cargo bay. I don't think it'll fit in the cutter or any of the other ships. So if you're going to go ground vehicle mining, this might be your only option for that, at least in terms of a starter ship. We'll go ahead and enter the ship here. Unfortunately, you do have to use a ladder to get in here, so you're kind of stuck in that animation. So if you're not a fan of that, then maybe this isn't the ship for you. Get your door access back there, but you get this kind of little window out into your cargo bay, and you can open that up from here, which is kind of convenient if you're playing with a buddy. Here, you got access to your components, which is really nice. Right over here, you're gonna have your toilet, which is a little awkward back in there. Hopefully you don't have anybody else walking around in here with you trying to use that. Over here we have just a little storage closet. Very nice. You can throw whatever you want in there. Now if we move through here, we move into the living area, and I think this is a beautiful little space. You're gonna get your little kitchen set up, so you can stock that with some food. What do we got over here? Maybe some protein powder. Over here, just a nice little bed, living space, and up here, obviously you got your cockpit, so you hop in the seat and kind of takes you up there. Overall, very beautiful ship. This one definitely feels the most kind of homey if you're into that sort of aspect of it. It is going to run you a little more, and I'm not crazy about the fact that you gotta use the ladder, at least to get in. Getting out, you can kind of open it up and jump out. And also the cargo bay is open to the world, so that's kind of not really too much of a factor in the game now, but maybe there could be something in the future that could damage your cargo. So pros and cons, but it is a wonderful starter ship, and the last one we're going to be covering today. So with all that, we're going to move on. I've created sort of a tier list of all the ships, actually 2 tier lists, one based on price and one based on overall performance, and we'll kind of run through all that together and then wrap up the video. So let's move on to that. Alright guys, we are here with the final rankings, which you should see up on the screen now. First of all, we're going to talk about the ships by price, which I have over here on the left. So my kind of top picks and this is kind of going by price range, and then left to right. The Aurora is going to beat out the Mustang in that price point. You get that interior space, you get the bed, you just get those amenities you don't get with the Mustang. So I'm going to take the Mustang over the Aurora in that category. Moving down, easily cutter over the Pisces. I love the Pisces, one of my favorite little ships. And if size is a factor, maybe you go with the C8X. But for that price point, you're gonna get the bed, the bathroom, a little more kind of volume in that back space to put things. So we're gonna take the cutter over the Pisces. Moving down, we have the 100i, Avenger, and Aurora, kind of in an order. No real competitors in each of their price points. So if we're going only based on price, kind of moving down the list. Now, if we move over to the right side of the screen, I've kind of done a rough ranking by performance. You could probably argue that some of these ships should maybe move around a little bit, but the Nomad up at the top, mostly just because of the cargo volume. You're going to be able to carry way more cargo than any of these other ships. And so, if you want to do a little cargo hauling, really your best bet is the Nomad. Moving down, the Avenger and the Cutter, I think, stack up pretty nicely together. I think the Avenger maybe looks a little cooler on the outside. The Cutter, you're going to be having some of those kind of newer amenities that you don't get with the older ships, the button panels, that sort of stuff. And so, yeah, I think you can't really go wrong with either of those choices. Obviously, the Cutter is going to be cheaper, so maybe you choose the Cutter there. Moving down, I've put the 100i and the Aurora together. I think they're kind of pretty similarly matched, but you're definitely getting a little more out of the 100i, but it's also a little more expensive. So kind of grouping those together. If you have the money to spend, maybe you want the 100i, maybe you want that interior space, you're getting a bed with both. But yeah, I don't think you could necessarily go wrong with either of those ships. Moving down, we have the Pisces. Really pains me to see it falling this low, but you don't get the bed, you don't get all the working button panels and stuff, even though it is a sort of newer ship. So, you're really not getting enough out of it, in my opinion, that you could be getting out of ships like the Cutter or the 100i. The 100i is just $5 more, Cutter the exact same price, so really hard to not choose one of those ships over the Pisces. And then lastly, we got the Mustang, which is really sad to see. The Mustang was my first starter ship. It really is a beautiful ship in my opinion, but you get no internal space. You kind of have the janky cargo area in the back that I don't think is going to be as secure as some of your other options. So yeah, if you're only going on it based on looks, and you definitely don't want to spend more than $45, there's nothing wrong with choosing the Mustang. It'll get the job done for you, but I think there's some better options out there. And so that kind of wraps up our rankings here. I hope this video has been really informative to you guys. I hope you stay tuned for part 2, where we're going to do a sort of beginner's guide of how to actually play the game. So your first time logging in, kind of learning the ropes once you've gotten your starter ship picked. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next video.